Hello everyone and welcome. This is Dycart and this is episode 3 of my Let's Play on Stationeers. So hopefully we'll get something going this episode. Between episodes I went out and I did a little bit of mining just to kind of help get me started. Okay? And I went ahead and set up an electronics printer. I shouldn't say set up. I printed out one. Printed in electronics. I lasered that out, machined it. I don't know. Anyway, I have this electronics printer here, and we're wanting to set that up so that we can get some electronics. So where to set it up is a question, and I think the answer I am going to use is right here. Well, maybe even one over. Let's see. Let's line it up with this. You know what? But I can't put stuff in it that easy. No, I don't like that. So what you do when you want to change something, use the tool that deconstructs it. For most of this sort of stuff, it's the drill. Why a drill disables an electronic machine, I'm not sure, but well, whatever. So that wasn't someplace. So I'll go here. It gives me a little bit of space so I can run over here, put stuff in the side. Okay. No problem. So we're gonna switch over. And as I'm doing this, I'm realizing, trying to think ahead here, I'm going to need a lot more cable. So let's take a look here. What does this have in it? I do have some copper in here. And there's cable coil. Perfect. So I'm going to have this just start working on building some more cable. And while that's working, I am going to try to connect this guy up. Yeah, let's look at this. I'm probably going to want a junction here, like this. So let's just connect him up. I'm not going to use the data port, I don't think, at least not at first. So I'll go that route, which means I got to cut this corner I just laid down, but no big deal. Okay. Put this guy back, and let's use that one to lay it. Oops, wanted to straight. There it is. All right, so now this guy should have power. And look at, I'm getting a bunch of coil here, which is good. That's what I needed. I might even need more than that. I'm not sure. Let's see. All right, so this guy. Yay, this guy, he's done. What he's going to be able to do that this guy can't. There's some stuff that's overlapping. Like this guy can make cable coils just like he can. Okay. He can make heavier cable coils, which is something that I'm definitely going to need before too long. But right now I'm not going to worry too much about it. But he does need... actually, you know what? Maybe I should make some heavy. What does heavy coil take? Let's see here. What? Oh, is it getting... Oh, I forgot to change my solar panels. Uh-oh, let's go take a look at that and see. I think this guy's using up all the juice. Let's go see if I need to move this. Yeah. Look at that. Sun's over there. I never moved this guy at all. So all the power that I was just using. Oh, sun's gone. Never mind. Never mind. He's just going to sit there. So I have to wait for daylight again because I used up power from this battery just to run this auto lathe. That's not a big deal though. We'll worry about this stuff later. Right now, what I know I want to do is I want to connect power. What I did between episodes, not only did I do some just standard mining, all of this ground here used to be level with my solar setup here. So I dug around this thing to kind of clear it out. I dug quite a ways out here just to kind of get the big hill out of the way. I'm going to try to experiment with something on this place, something I haven't done. Oh, there's some more coal. And that is to not, normally when I would start, I would find the highest point. This is what people typically do. They find like wherever the highest general point is, and they'll build a couple levels up, a couple blocks up, and put their solar panel way up there. Like, let's get it as high as we can so that it's going to have unobstructed access to the sun. Well, I'm not sure, but it certainly seems like at this level, I currently have unobstructed access to the sun. So why go try that? So I'm trying something new this time. I'm actually digging down a little bit here, and I think I'm going to use these panels as basically my, I don't know what you would call it, a circuit board, where I'm going to lay out my logistics and set up my automatic solar panel control. So what I did was I dug all this out so that it would be open, so that I would have basically a face here to connect everything. But here's something you want to keep in mind when you're setting up this automated stuff for the solar panels. If I draw directly from this power line right here that's coming from the solar panels, and then possibly my coal power if I decide I need it, which I could have done for that lathe or the printer. But anyway, if I drew the power from here and ran it over to the controls that control how these move, then two things could happen. Well, one for sure would happen is once it was nighttime, this line would not have power in it anymore. So the controls that control these would stop. In other words, they would be set to the horizon at dusk where the sun went down, and they would just be sitting there, and they wouldn't move again until I manually turned them to point to where the sun's going to rise. And then once the sun came up, then power would go in, and then they would start moving, which is great, better than the way it is, because I wouldn't have to be moving it throughout the day. However, I can do better, and that is by connecting the power after this battery unit. Okay, if I connect it after that, then this battery that's in here, if I connect a power like around here, which is what I'm thinking I'm going to do, then the controls for the solar panels are controlled by the power after the battery, which means at nighttime this battery will be powering those controls. And they're small controls. They're just a few logic boards and stuff. There's not going to be that much of a power draw, but it's enough power that it will move these solar panels throughout the night to get them set up again for the morning. So then I will not have to worry about them again. So that's the one thing that's great about connecting these power of the panel controls that I'm going to set up here in a moment after some sort of a battery or the power control unit. Okay? That's one. Okay? Another is because if I connect this power directly into the control units and then have it all mixed so they're also getting the data, then there's a chance for a short circuit in the wiring, because this power that will eventually be getting made with the generator and multiple solar panels and stuff like that will be too much power for the cabling and the circuits that we will put down here. I'm looking kind of down at the wall. So in order to not have both of those problems, I'm going to take a little bit of extra time and connect it differently. All right, so I think I want to put right here, have this come out and just go around the edge, and then that'll be my power coming from here. So I have the battery and this to protect in between. In fact, I'm going to use a second one. Let's look up here. Do I have another power control unit? I think I do. Sensors. I'm gonna need this actually. Let's do. Whoops. Let's go here. Switch hands. Get that cable out of there. I'm gonna need that sensor, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab it. And this is all stuff for setting up an airlock, which will happen eventually. Some iron walls, nothing else in there. Did I must have had one, and I thought I had one, but I guess not. I mean, there's one right there. What did I do with that second one? Is it? No, it's not in my hand. Wow, that's really freaking me out right now. I do know that I had stuff I was just setting on the ground, kind of making a mess of things over here, but then, oh, look, then I built this locker. Haha, see, think through the problem. All right, so I have the power control unit and I've got sensors. Actually, I'm gonna need those sensors, but I'm gonna put them down here. Look at this. So the ground is actually into the locker a little bit. Whenever this sort of thing happens, where the ground has grown up, see like even right here where it's kind of blocking stuff, you're safe to use your mining drill and drill into it, and you're not going to damage your structures. So eventually I'll mine that out and I'll get that last line of storage. Actually, it looks like I could access it. You just wouldn't see it that clearly because of the clipping. But anyway, so I've got this one power control unit right here. I'm going to set it up separately. So this power control unit will go for everything in the base. And then I'm going to run a line over here and run a separate power control unit specifically just for the solar. That way the battery that'll be in this second unit that I'm about to set up will be solely for powering the solar stuff. I'm not sure yet if that will require a large or a small battery, but it's not something I'm going to worry too much about. Okay, throw this down for the moment. Grab some wire cutters and then some wire. Let's deconstruct. Oops, those aren't wire cutters. These are wire cutters. All right. So we want this to be a junction. Just like that. And then we'll go to a straight. And let's go out one more. Having the wires kind of hover in the air isn't a problem at all. It doesn't necessarily look the greatest, so if that is something that bothers you, you might want to tuck it away and leave it a little bit nicer. But it's not something that really bothers me. So let's see, if I did another corner right here. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. I connect that up. Let's turn this bad boy. Get it going here. So the reason I came out one extra is I believe I would still have that same problem if I tried to build a corner like right in here with this being in the way. Oh, look at that. My power's low. So before I forget, I'm going to switch this battery. Part of the thing is just keeping my headlight on, but I know it's rough in the past videos when I have turned it off. I did that wrong, but it worked. Ideally, you want to take this battery first and just swap them. I took my battery off first because I was in the middle of talking and not thinking through. Think through things. All right, so it's got a lower battery in here, but right now I'm not drawing any power, so it shouldn't be any big deal. Hopefully that sun will come up before too long and we will be all fixed up. So let's go back to wiring this. As I was saying with the wiring, I think if I tried to tuck the corner in here to make it look neater, I don't think a corner would work right there. I think it would interfere with that arc furnace. I could, it'd just be red and not let me build there. So that's why I'm doing it this way. That, and I'm not as concerned about the cable sticking out right there. It's not that big of a deal. In fact, I'm expecting that before too long, I will be covering all this in. Like where I'm standing right now, I'm hoping to have that covered so it's not a big hole anymore. But that's down the road. Oops. Oh, that's the way I wanted. All right. Can I get up out of here? Oh, I'm going to have to use my jetpack really quick. And then turn it right back off because I don't want to waste propellant in my jetpack. But here's the power right here. So now I have power out this direction. Okay. Oh, look, sun's rising. Yeah, sun. We love the sun. So I'm going to come back over here. And I need more cable. Really, I do. I still don't have enough, I don't think, to set this whole thing up. So now that the sun is up, I'm going to turn this back on and tell it to start doing some more cable for me. Because I'm going to definitely need some more. There's a sensor, there's the power control unit. Let's grab both of those and go put them up while this thing's making some cable. All right. Can we go out this way? There we go. Eventually, again, I will fix this up so it's easier. In fact, I might do it here pretty quick. But first of all, the power control unit. We've got a couple options here if we look at it. I can have the power coming in, power and data coming in from the left and going out on the right, or I can just swap it. So either way. But right now, the power coming in from here works just fine. So I need to hook it up on some frames. Maybe I should have that corner go up. It has to be like on a wall or a surface. It can't be like right, like on the bottom, you know, the mounting point of it. So what I might do, just for ease, is put it here. Okay. And then the sensor that's going to be pulling off of the data, I can kind of put anywhere, but let me see here. See, you can do a daylight sensor, a motion sensor, or a gas sensor. And of course, we want daylight sensor because we're trying to set this up for our whatchamacallit, our solar stuff. So the trick about the sensor is it needs to be facing where the sun rises. That's the number one thing for the sensor, where the sun is rising. So I'm trying to decide how I want to go about doing this. This might be a good place right here. Okay, so this sensor is, look at it right there. It's picking up the sunlight and the sun's at 47 degrees right now. So that's awesome. It's already working. But we have to set up the logic that'll be able to read the data from the sensor and utilize it somehow. Look at all this coil I've got. That's awesome. I'm going to use all of it. Oops, shut that off. We will definitely go through this and have to make more at some point. Okay, but we can combine these really quick. But let's go up here and take care, hopefully for the last time, do our manual control of our thing. Maybe not the last, maybe the last day that we have to do it. Okay, so tilt up. So it's pretty good right there. It's down, like the power's down a little bit, but as the sun moves, it's gonna grow. So I'm okay with that for now. Okay, I'll probably have to move that once or twice more before the end of the day. But while I have power, I want to make sure and print out the stuff I need. So the stuff I know I need, I've already got my sensor. I know I am going to need some logic stuff. Logic I/O. I'm going to need 2 of these bad boys. I need gold and copper for that. What's in here? All right, so for now, I'm just going to reuse what's in this. I have a little bit of gold there. Let's, while we have some power, throw some copper in here to start creating, so we have some. So I'm just going to throw all this stuff in here and see how many of these things we can make. Probably not as many as we need. All right, so I know I need 2 of these logic I/O. So I'm going to let it print 2 of them out. These are like just little circuits that you'd see inside a computer. But we're going to set it up to do what we want it to do. All right. I also know that I'm going to need 1 logic memory. And 1 logic processor, I believe it's called. Yes. Sweet. So I had enough materials to create these things. These things, plus what I've already mounted, is going to help me create my automated solar power. Okay, so that is done, and I was able to do it while the sun was out, so I didn't have to utilize more power than I wanted to. Like I just utilized the sun's power for it, and I was fine. All right. So let's look here. I have 12 iron frames and 14 iron sheets. I'm going to take these and put my sheets here. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and set this up right now. Just put these frames down as a base of where I'm going to have my basically my floor, so I can access this stuff while I'm building, because I think that's going to save me a little headache. So I might as well do it now rather than wait till later. So let's get down here. And I'm just going to set these up. Remember, these are just frames. These are just to say this is where I'm going to build. I can't stand on these. If I do, I'm just going to fall right through them. So I have to build them up, which means using my welder. Oops, I had the wrong hand selected. All right, and then I hit O to turn my welder on. And since I have iron sheets in my other hand, I can complete these. And that's going to give me a good stable surface so I can walk around and do all this work without worrying about falling down in the hole I just cut. So it'll be helpful, but I am using up my iron sheets and my iron frames. So it's going to force me to have to make some more at some point, which, you know, you're going to end up making a lot of all of this stuff. Okay, so it looks like it's getting into the evening, but I want to make sure my battery is charged. Okay. So another thing that we're going to need before too long, and I don't think I have, you know what? Do we have enough to build an actual solar panel? Ooh, yeah, we will if I put this copper in here, and we can build this before the sun goes down. And I only have enough gold for one, so I know it's going to stop as soon as I finish. So I'm going to run up here and adjust this angle to get a better power. All right, so it's up all the way. So hopefully that's drawn enough power to keep my battery charged while doing this, which it looks like it worked. So right there, I have a second solar panel. That's awesome. So I'm going to go over here and say, is this glass sheets? Yes, it is. So I'm going to run up onto this. And since I have it, I'm going to build it. So here's a solar panel. I need to turn it so that it's aligned the same way as the other, which is power facing my base, data facing where my logistics controls are going, or where I'm standing right now, and then bam, I just completed it. So this solar panel is done. All I have to do is wire it up. So let's go back down here and put the glass away. We're going to be done with that for a while. All right, so let's go connect with some of this new wire, these solar panels. And then my goal will be to get my logistics setup done before the next morning, although I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish that or not. We will find out. So I'm going to cut this one and put a junction in here. And that's already connected to power. I know I'm going to need the data. And while I have this junction, I'll just plop them down there. I don't know yet where I want the data to come down. Possibly like right over here somewhere. Maybe I do a four-way here and just have the data come down right there. Let's do that. Right, so instead of this junction, we'll do a four-way junction like this. And then straight. And now the data lines don't need power to run. So right now, this is enough data. I'm going to have the data I need to complete my task. So I'm going to run it right up here, and then I'm going to put a corner in. Come on, there we go. So now the data is accessible right there. All right. So we know we want this data to connect into here. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a four-way intersection. Now this is the sort of thing that you can go do all sorts of different ways, and it's going to work. You know, there's no 100% this is the way you have to wire this up. Although there are ways where it won't work if you wire it that way. I haven't experimented with all of those. For me, it's like once I can get it to work, I'm done. I'm happy. I'm finished. There we go. All right, so I want this to come up and go in right here. So let's grab a straight and then a corner. And right there, our power is now connected to this, which was one of our goals. Now we need our data to come down and connect to this. All right, so I'm trying to decide if I just connect it across here. Well, let's look at our So I'm going to need them. So I'm just going to leave these sitting here. But I'm going to start grabbing this stuff. What is that? The logic module, processor, and then these will be the two I/O units. And the reason I'm setting them on the ground like this is because now when I highlight over them, you can see what they are. In the inventory, like here, I know I have iron sheets in my inventory, but it doesn't tell me that. All I see is the icon for it, like right here where I'm scrolling. So I like to just throw stuff on the ground because one, I'm not going to lose it, but two, now I can mouse over and go, oh yeah, that's what I want. So I don't end up placing the wrong thing. I know I want a memory unit that doesn't necessarily need power, but you can connect it because this is now power and data. So I should be able to connect it just fine. But just to do it, again, there's no right or wrong. It's not that big of a deal. I'm just going to put it right there just so it's there. Okay. So I have that and I can connect it up, and then I'll have the data line connected here. So now trying to decide which will go next. Let's go with this processor. Let's take a look at it and see what it is. So the processor has 4 connectors. So it's going to need loops basically all around it. I might put it here. Yeah, I think I'll just, well, let me look at it though. What do I want? See, oh, by the way, this, I have it on logic math. That's not the one well, that is the one I wanted. There's also compare, select, min, max, and unary, which I don't know how the operations for all of those, but this math one will allow me to perform mathematics on 2 inputs and have an output, which is exactly what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and build that one. And let's just do it right here. Okay. I guess it wouldn't matter. I could have turned it so it was easier to read, but it doesn't matter right now. So that's connected. And I know I need connections on all sides of that. So let's look at one of these. Okay, that needs connections on 3 sides. So I could just do this and this and know that I need to connect everything basically. So what that means is pick up this cable, and right here is going to be a 4-way, and then I'm going to have a bunch of corners. So, oh, that's going to be a 3-way, never mind, or a T-junction. Oh no, this is going to be another 4-way. There we go. That's it. And this is going to be T-junction, right? Hold on a second. There's no input on those sides. It's there. There. All right. So, yeah. So no input on this side. But, oh, I do need a 4-way here, though, because I need to connect in this data. All right. So I have those set up. Let's find a corner. Actually, I know I'm going to need another 4-way junction here. Now a corner. And I think I need to just turn it. This will work for that way and that way, but that means I need a junction. If I can get it to line up. All right, now a corner. This corner will work. That corner should work. And I can turn this one there. And I need this one to go there. There, and then this is going to be a junction. Look at this, it's almost done. This will be a corner and then a straight. All right, so that should be connected. Again, I may find out, nope, this isn't right. And it's still nighttime, so let's try to get this done. All right, so now to to manipulate these and get them to work properly, you have to program them, but you need to use a screwdriver to do it because you're turning all these screws. So this is how it's going to work. The memory unit is going to store the constant variable, well, I guess it's not a variable, it's a constant that I need to use in my mathematical calculations. How I figured that out is this. I know just from using them that the solar panels have an angle that you can set between 0% and 100%. So at 100%, they're facing one way, at 0%, they're facing the other. That's how those work, okay? So I need to figure out how to tell the angle of the sun to transfer into percentages for those. Well, the angle of the sun gets reported at 0 degrees to 180 degrees. So basically I need to take 180 degrees and divide it by 100, which is what these are, to get the degree, what percentage matches what degree. So in order to do that, I know that that's going to be 1.8, right? 180 divided by 100, you just move the decimal twice, it's 1.8. So that's what I need to set this to. Okay, so if I use the big knob here and just turn it, it goes up by 100, right? So let's go to the decrease and take that 100 off. I don't want it to go up by 100, so, oh, it says hold left alt, similar or smaller increments. I do it there. Oh, no, that's 10. I still don't need 10. So I go here. Well, it used to be that was how you did this. So you had to hook up a computer separate and program this to be 1.8, which was a hassle. Now they've, in one of more recent patches, they've added these. Now when I turn this without hitting anything else, it's a whole number. And I want 1.8. So now when I hold down left alt, it gives me the points. So now that's it. I've just programmed that memory. I'm done with it. I shouldn't have to touch it again. Okay, so it was nice that they added these smaller increments on this memory one. It's awesome. So now you can set it to pretty much anything you want. Okay, so I've got that. So I've got my sensor. I've got my memory set up. Now my math unit. Okay, I need to read what's from this sensor. Okay, but I don't know which one of these should do it. Oh, I do know which one of these should do it. Yeah, I take that back. I'm going to make this a logic reader. I built this improperly. I did wrong. My bad. Okay. I forgot that I actually need this to be not a logic reader, which means I might have to redo these. But I need it to be a writer, and I need it to be a batch writer. And what a batch writer will do is it will tell a batch of items to do something. It'll issue them a command. If it was just logic writer, I believe that would only issue a command to one thing. The batch issues it to multiple things. I need it to issue it to multiple solar panels. So that's what this is going to be. So I might be able to just set it up right there. Hopefully that'll work. All right, so that makes it easier for me. So the logic reader is here to read the data from the daylight sensor and output the data in a format that we can read in our math unit. Okay? So the in is going to be the daylight sensor, and the out, we want it to be the solar angle. So this is going to read all the data that comes from this sensor, but it's only going to output the solar angle, which is the only one we're concerned about. So that's going to come over here. So for the number one in our math unit, input 1, let's make it the angle. Oops, that was the logic reader. So we know the logic reader is outputting the angle. Oh, look at, here's the sun. We make this the logic memory, and then we turn this to divide. Okay, so the angle of the sun is going to be divided by 1.8. Okay, now what we do here is we want the input to be from the math. So it's going to get whatever this calculation is. Okay, and it's going to what it is looking at. Uh-oh. Did I mess that up? Daylight sensor. It's writing to the solar panels, and it should be writing, oh, I had to pick that first. It should be writing the vertical. So it's telling the solar panels what vertical to be at. Now, right now I don't, well, I have a little bit of power here. I think I might. So let's take this. No, so there's no power to these right now. Oh, because I didn't open this up and turn it on. So let's see if the power turns on. It turned on, and look, there are my solar panels. Look at them. Nice. Now this reminds me there's one more thing I forgot to do, and that is angle these properly. All right, so let's go up over here. I want to make sure, wait a second, this is outputting, I did put this to vertical, right? Oh no, see, that's on horizontal. That's my problem right there. This needs to be on vertical. All right, now my horizontal on these has been messed up because I had that accidentally on horizontal when I turned the power on. So it, instead of turning the vertical angle, it turned the horizontal angle. Well, we don't want that. We only want to worry about the vertical angle. We want the horizontal angle to stay. So we need to then rotate these and see how it's at a weird degree. We want it to end up, oh, I want it to go this way.
Power low.
Look at my power. Oh, was it at -90 that I wanted it? Unfortunately, because I I accidentally set it on horizontal first, it's off by 4 degrees. Oops. No, rotate left. And we wanted this on what? -90. Well, and this one will be -96. -94, I mean. Now that I have the horizontal angle set up properly, my vertical angles will just follow the sun. So it actually looks like I'm going to be fine. I mean, they're off by a little bit. I kind of wish they were set to exactly 90 just because, you know, round numbers and all that stuff. But that's it. That's it. We've got it working. What I might do between episodes is try to reset those to 90. And I think how I need to do that, let me see, is there a... Oh, never mind. There is a left alt. What does that do? Oh, okay, so let's do that. I can correct it right here. That makes it easier. There we go. Now they're set like I wanted them to be. All right, but now I have 2 solar panels generating power, and they're already turning. Look at that. They're outputting 460 plus watts, right? And then as the sun's angle changes, my logic units here are telling these to change. So you're going to see them moving all on their own. So right now, as of this moment, I do not have to worry about dealing with the solar panels anymore as far as changing their angle and all that stuff. This is on. I want to get a battery here though, so it'll control those. However, I'm going to try. Do I have? Oh, I guess I don't have any spare batteries right now. Yeah. So for now, this battery will be, whatever's in here will be the one that's controlling that, which I'm going to be okay with that for now. So we'll go, my suit is low, so we're going to switch this, switch the battery, put it right there. Okay. And look, our solar panels are pointing more straight up now. Now, for some reason, there's, I don't know if it's a bug or what, but every so often you look, you see the light everywhere. You know, you can see it. You can see it's daylight, but sometimes the sun shows, sometimes it doesn't. There it is. But if you noticed earlier when I would look up, sometimes it would just disappear, like right when it got into my view, it would just be gone. It's kind of a weird setup that way. Sometimes that happens. But right there, I have my automated solar. That seems to be working okay for now. It's going to, at nighttime, this battery is going to push it. So the next thing I'm going to have to worry about, I believe, is setting up some better cabling for my power so that I don't blow these, because these have a max wattage, and that solid generator is able to put out more wattage than one of these normal cables can handle. So I'm going to need a heavier cable. So if I look here, let's see, I need more battery cable. There's a heavy cable coil. So let's turn it on and look. It requires gold and copper. Well, it requires, I could only make 2 heavy coils right here because of the gold. So let's take this gold and put it in here. Okay. And start that going while we have a little bit of sunlight powering our solar panels. And see how the solar panels have turned? They're following the sun. All right, and these heavy coils are pretty much just like the regular coils, only they don't have a corner or curved corner, three-way corner like the regular coils do, which isn't something you use very often at all anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. And it makes sense that the heavier coils wouldn't be able to curve as much. And by that I mean this thing right here. Let's switch to the regular coils. If I'm building right here, there's like a straight cable, a corner, and then there's the three-way corner that's curved. See how that's curved? And you could basically put it on the corner of a box, and it might fit nicely, like right there on the corner up there. I guess the thing's in the way; it doesn't show up nicely. But you know what I'm talking about. However, these don't have that. They go straight cable to corner and then right to that three-way junction. Because they're heavier cables, it'd be harder to bend them in that way. I assume that's why it's like that. Sweet. So we're going to need a bunch of these while we still have sun, because we want this battery to charge, and it's already at a full charge, so that's good. Solar panels are working. We want that to be charged so it'll work that logic stuff during the nighttime. And we want to grab these batteries now. Let's stop right there. What I'm going to do with this coil in the next episode is I'm going to replace this with the heavy coil. Maybe I'll do it between episodes. I'm not sure. But I want to replace all this with the heavy coil so that I'm not overpowering stuff. You know, there's no chance I'm going to blow it because I use too much power by turning everything on or something like that. It's just kind of safety precaution, protection for the future. All right, so let's turn this off and this off. And I'll go up here to kind of remind myself that's what I'm working on. Is the heavy coil. Let's put this coil away, this smaller coil. All right, so right now that's the plan, is the heavy coil working on this stuff. That will be my plan for the next episode, and possibly we'll delve into what we need to do to set up a battery, which is going to require a furnace and some work. So I don't know if that'll take 1 or 2 episodes, but I think that's the next thing, is we need to start making ourselves some more batteries for storage, including a large one for storage for the whole base. But that's going to be my plan. Who knows? Who knows if that's what we'll do. But we are out of time for this episode. So I really appreciate you joining me, and I hope you'll join me for the next episode. And as always, please leave some comments if you have any input to share or any questions about anything. I'm happy to communicate. Again, I stream every night on Twitch. So feel free to stop by my stream, ask me questions in there, talk to me in there. I love company, and I've got a great group of people in my stream that support me. And I really enjoy their company, and I'm sure you will too. So for now, take care, everyone, and I hope you'll join me for the next episode. Bye-bye.